The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
What's going on, good people? Your boy E-Buck in the building. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for that show we call the Guru Sports Session. And of course, we cannot do the show called the Guru Sports Session without my man's right there. Because in the end, that's just the Buck Sports Report. And we're going to get to them still, and we'll talk about it later on. But anyway, we on the regular show today. Regular scheduled program already in progress. Look at these beautiful sets we got back in them. Y'all see mine right there? And you see that one Hewitt? I know y'all be like, E-Buck, you always doing something. That was not an E-Buck production. My man Hugh Lee did that. That dude. What up, Hugh?
Trying to get my production on, man. All last week when I was sick, man, I couldn't really talk. As you can hear, my voice still a little raspy, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of sets and doing stuff like here and there as far as the production, man. I want to definitely continue to do that. And, I've been looking at the EV Bucks and, some of the instructions and the things they want you to do, man. And I've been trying to get my game up, man. But yeah, man, I've been definitely under the weather, man. I got my little injection recently, which was no fun, my back injection. And then I had sinuses the whole time and didn't really know that neither. And that was just a bad combination. But I'm back though, man. Definitely glad to be here, brother. And I'm ready to talk sports like I always do.
Right. Well, I understand that being a heart attack survivor. I just found that out today, y'all. That time when I was sick, y'all, did y'all know I actually had a heart attack? I didn't know that either. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, all good news right now. All good news, at least with us, for the most part. But anyway, in the world of sports, it's been kind of crazy. We got a lot to talk about. We ain't gonna hold y'all up. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get in and out a lot of this stuff because it's a lot to go on. All right, you ready, Hugh?
Yes, sir.
First of all, yesterday, well, no, I got to go back a day before yesterday because we got some devastating news, man. I got to start the show out by talking about that kid, Juju Watkins, bro.
Yeah, that was painful. Because we were just talking, Ian. The crazy part about it is when we had this conversation, before we even had this conversation, it was like you jinxed Juju, man. Shame on you, man. You put bad juju on Juju, no pun intended.
Yeah.
We was talking, though, and it was just a regular conversation. I ain't even going to play with you like that, because I know you were just as hurt as I was. We were saying that UConn only hope right now is to get past, the USC or like some of the
something happened. I sure did say that.
Sure enough, man. She
but
got
I didn't wish that on that young lady.
Well,
I love
you. That was a dirty play. A lot of people were saying too, man, and there was a lot of physicality in that, whole situation. There was some dirty stuff that went on in that game, and they lucky that USC won that game, man, because it would have been some crazy stuff happen after that game.
And it still may be. I mean, because understand, somehow, some way, they got to hook it up to when next year they play each other at some point next year, or at least a year after. Because keep in mind, for those of y'all who don't know the bad news, you should. Juju Watkins was in the tournament. That game, the play we're talking about, she tore her ACL. She is now out for the rest of the tournament and probably for pretty much all of next year, which is crazy. Because, of course, we've been talking about how this sophomore class is probably going to be the best WNBA class ever. And it still would be even without Juju, mind you. But just the fact that the rehab and all of that, I hate that for her. I really do. The only good thing is because Juju got the NIL deals and stuff that she does have, she good for me. But I hated to see that. I was really looking forward to them playing UConn again because My girl's been clowning. But anyway, on to the next subject. Speaking of women's college basketball, a couple things jumped off last 24 hours of interest. One, the number one recruit in the nation finally decided where she's going to school next year. And a kid out of Texas who averaged damn near 35 points a game with 76, best point guard, 5'11", Miss Chavez. She has decided not to go in her home state of Texas, not with LSU or South Carolina, cover her final choices, but she actually decided to go to the University of Oklahoma. A Texan going to an Oklahoma university. Talk about it, Hugh.
You know, that was a spit in the face, man, to Texas, man. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets some hate mail, all type of racial slurs and stuff going on after that, man. You in Texas, the harder a lot of racist people, and you decide to go to Oklahoma. I was really surprised, because at first we was like, man, there's a possibility she can go to one of these schools, the good schools, as the SC, USC, UConn. We thought she was gonna have her sights on that, or even in her hometown, Texas, to go to Oklahoma.
I mean, think about it. The NIL deal she probably could have got at University of Texas is dumb. That's that oil money.
That's crazy, man. I definitely think that it's gonna hit hard too, especially in the heart of Texas. They don't like this whatsoever.
Right, now understand Texas obviously got a good team. They in the Sweet 16. Oklahoma also in the Sweet 16. They got a good team as well. But I was stunned that was her decision.
Definitely.
I'm thinking either she really liked the team itself, she really liked the coach, or somebody offered her some NIL money in Oklahoma that just made that Texas money look stupid.
Yeah, that what it was, man, because for her to leave home to go to Oklahoma, of all, like the rivalries, we know the Red River rivalry and all the stuff that goes on with them two states. To do that, man, it was definitely something major that had to happen. So, yeah, I'm waiting to see her NIL deal and see what goes on, man, because that was a shocker. But it's going to be good for basketball, though, especially the women's basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of good that all the great players ain't always going to UConn or South Carolina or LSU. It's good that they spreading out to some degree. And speaking of one of those schools, we got to, of course, talk about my UConn Lady Huskies. Congrats to them making Sweet 16, of course. But in a surprise move, AZ Fudd, best friend, of course, of Paige Beckers and third leading scorer on UConn, decided that I do got another year eligibility. And you know what? I am going to come back. And I must admit, I was shocked by that because a lot of people that were in the know were saying, yeah, she's going to go ahead and leave too. I'm surprised she made a decision. What's your thoughts, Hugh?
She would have easily been top 5, man, in the draft this year. But for her to stay, yeah, man, that was a shocker because I thought that she'd be ready too. But I think it's possibly still a good thing though, because now that she's fully healthy and she's been clowning and playing the way she have been, she could play even better if she can continue to stay healthy, man. I don't know what happened this year, but I know Moriyama haven't had these girls on the injury list as much. And when they were banged up, it was like a little bit to where they wasn't out as long. And we all knew what a UConn team, a healthy UConn team could do at that. And they're just showing basically that they belong. And we all knew that they were a good team. It was just that they never stayed healthy. And now for her to bring it back too, it was really a shocker because I thought her and her homegirl Paige Beckers was definitely going to go on, to the WNBA.
Yeah, but apparently the deciding factor, Hugh, according to her, was that she had a nice talk with Coach Auriemma, and he was saying, if you left now, you'd be okay. But I think you would really benefit more from doing another year in Storrs because, we know you play even better than what you've played. We done seen you at your full potential. I mean, go back to her sophomore year before she first got hurt.
Yeah.
Averaging damn near 30 a game. She was clowning. And even this year, she have her moments, but she still ain't played like that AZ Fudd. And if she can get back to that next year, I think it's the right decision because she played like that. Keep in mind, the number one pick at this point, looking in the next year early on, is probably Lauren Betts, and she probably still gonna be the number one no matter what at 6'7" with that skill set. But I definitely will see AZ Fudd being number 2 if she play like that.
Yeah, she could easily be. And then it could be a toss up from number one, even though we believe definitely Laura Best coming out number one, but she'd definitely have a better stock, as far as the number two ranked player. But not only that, too, man, even if, like said, if she did go to the WNBA, most times, man, one thing I definitely appreciate hearing from Charles Barkley before when he was saying about the talent that goes to the NBA, that they should at least stay in college for 2 to 3 years because once they're going to NBA, that first year they don't really be developed. That second and third year is when they really start to shine and start to develop. So I believe this is her case with the WNBA because if she went out this year, she'd probably be okay, average like 6, 7 points. But I believe if she stay in school this year and come out next year, she'd probably be more of a spark plug on a needy team that'll actually
Right, because
help it.
understand, remember, next year we got 2 more teams coming into the WNBA. I think it's a pretty good chance she might get to one of them and be the face of that franchise. Some shit she wouldn't have got to do this year. Not to mention the fact, remember, the way the WNBA season set up, it's like we got the tournament. Hell, that next week is the draft. Hell, the week after that is training camp. 3
Yeah.
weeks later, WNBA season starts. So you don't really get no time to really develop between boom and boom,
Because Caitlin Clark, I feel like if she had at least an extra 2 weeks to just relax, then she would have had even better numbers than what she displayed. But it was hard coming out of, her being in like the Final Four, turning around, getting drafted, and then right into the season. Yeah, that's a gruesome schedule.
Right, and then keep in mind, it was a blessing in disguise the way the season set up last year. Because
Oh, yeah.
remember the fact that she didn't play in the Olympics and got that few weeks to rest and then came back. Look at how much better she played once she came back after the Olympic break.
And we haven't been hearing nothing from her, man. We kind of figured she was in a lab right now handling
Oh,
this.
that's definitely what they say she's doing.
I seen she put a little muscle mass on too. She was trying to sneak and hide like she wasn't really doing much. I was like, yeah, I seen her, and I said she got a little size on her, looking like Vera Elmira.
Right, and just to let you know how good the WNBA is, damn near, I think they say like a third of all games in the WNBA this year is going to be televised. That's great.
Yeah, a lot of their games gonna be more. It's gonna be more.
Your average ticket price in each stadium has gone up at least $20 from last year. Hell, even the WNBA package that went up $10.
I said the name wrong. I meant Vera de Milo. When
I know what you meant.
The muscle
and live in color. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that from back in the day. But anyway, yeah, so a lot going on. And another quick thing to throw in terms of college basketball, they got to switch when they start this transfer portal. They really do.
Damn,
and football, basketball, and baseball, the transfer portal starts before the end of the season. That shouldn't be.
That was messed up, man. When we seen when Tennessee was playing, and I sent you that, video, and you was like, "Damn, that's dirty, man." The dude decided, man, I'm not even going to the championship game. I want to go to the portal. And he just was like, man, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
If you're not in the championship nowadays, people just going in that transfer portal, man. And that's not right. Because remember, we seen the dirtiest player do that of all time. I don't care what nobody saying. He not getting the credit of being that dirty when Nick Bosa, when they found out Ohio State wasn't going to go to the championship. Remember, man, he packed up his dorm room, man. Didn't even play in the bowl game like a month before.
Right. And, they even said last year that's kind of what's the case with the dude Will over there at Michigan. After that game when he got hurt, they said he was ready to play a couple of weeks later, but he just said, fuck.
He mess up his draft.
Class or nothing, apparently.
Yeah, that's dirty when they do that. Like you said, they need to fix that, man.
But would you believe they said this first day transfer portal and college basketball, just on the men's side, man, over 700 people hit the portal day one.
Definitely couldn't believe that. When I saw it, that's the first thing I said. Like, let me see if E knew. And I sent that message to you. And I was like, man, I couldn't believe that, man. 700.
Right. Now, granted, it's over 300 Division I programs, man. And the portal don't count for Division II or III. There is such a thing, but they don't count those numbers.
No.
But 700, remember, your college basketball team, that's like 14 people at the most. So if 700 people, even that's like every other team put somebody in the portal. And we already know out of that 700, remember that good old McNeese State team, half of them was in that portal.
Yeah.
Including the damn manager.
That's dirty how they did that. I never believed that, man. And like we were saying, because at first I was like, man, if they would have been into the game, because you could see they wasn't into the game that first half. They tried
Yeah,
to do some type of, camaraderie, but when that
yeah.
second
Basically,
half,
once they was out of it, they was out of it.
that's why Barkley took that shot at him that time. Like, man, maybe if he was more concerned with playing stuff for that boombox he had on, man, they would have went to the next round. But they wasn't really even in it like that, man. They already
Right.
thinking going to the next
But
college.
I mean, think about it though. He the team manager. He getting better NIL deals than the people on the team.
Yeah, that's crazy. They treat that dude like, man, they gave him the
They
red
say he
carpet.
a big man on campus. For
Remember,
real.
that dude didn't even manage. He had somebody else manage. He was chilling like, man,
Yeah.
they trying to manage.
He is basically a modified mascot.
They had this dude like he was just that dude. Like he was right on the
Yeah,
side of
he is
Spike
that
Lee.
dude. They say on campus he is that dude. The ladies and all.
That's crazy.
I'm jealous.
But that dude had that bling on that day too, man. I was like, man, he doing too much, man. But you
Yeah,
can
basically just look up McNeese State equipment manager and it'll explain what we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, so a lot going on in college basketball despite the tournament, but that's another story. We've already talked about that. If you ain't heard about it, make sure that you check out the Guru's Perspective, where my man Hugh did double duty this week, breaking down the men's tourney and the women's tourney, and did it so good I didn't even want to touch it. So we're gonna leave it at that. We'll put that on up for that information so y'all can find it and like and subscribe. We would appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Sports his way. It's the Guru's Perspectives.
For sure.
All right, carry on, Hugh. Where we going from here?
All right, man. Crazy stuff that happened in the NFL too, man. We seen,
Yeah, let's go there.
Finally got his team. When they found out they wasn't in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstake, they said, man, let us pivot back. And then they went after Russ while he was still out there because, Russ was kind of confused. He really wanted to go back to Pittsburgh, but he felt like they didn't want him, man. And then, I think this was a tactic from Aaron Rodgers all along. Like, man, other guys are going to probably get, pursued by some of the other teams. And then it's crazy too, because Justin Fields was the one that they really wanted to bring back, but then he got a better offer from the Jets. And then now you got Russ that went over to, the Giants. But I'm just trying to figure out what's going to happen now. Like, it's like, do or die for the Steelers right now. It's like either Aaron Rodgers or bust.
I mean, it's three teams, and I'm wondering what you doing. First of all, Giants, what you doing? Not only do you sign Russ, but you also sign young famous Jameis, and still saying that more than likely you're gonna draft a quarterback with that number 3 pick. It kind of don't make any sense.
And you got Tommy DeVito over there, Mr. Cutlass himself.
Right. I mean, well, Cutlet, he just there. We know this. But in an ideal world, if these are the moves you made because you plan on using that number 3 pick to go ahead and get that dude Travis, okay, it makes sense a little bit then. And then, of course, in that second round, you pick up Darta, whoever else is available, yours, one of them, and just kind of want to bring him along slowly. Okay, I can vouch for that. That makes sense because y'all not winning nothing next year. We know that. You're not winning your division. You're not going over 500. And it don't matter which one of them quarterbacks you put in. It don't even matter if you get Shedeur Sanders, put him in. With the team you got, it ain't happening, okay? This ain't no Washington Commander situation. Y'all don't have that type of play with the rest of the people on your squad. So I don't understand what they doing. Okay, Minnesota Vikings. I'm not quite sure what you doing. I mean, you actually got my man JJ McCarthy coming on the podcast over there saying, yeah, y'all say I'm QB1. They ain't told me that. As far as I know, I'm still trying to get it, and I ain't mad. I put in the work. It's cool. But yeah, if JJ ain't ready, day one, y'all done went from 14-3 to y'all need a better backup plan than whoever the backup is. And then obviously Pittsburgh, what the blue hell you doing? You actually signed the big deal Holyfield wide receiver, but you ain't got nobody worth talking about to throw it to. Right now we got Pickett and we got Rudolph again. And if Aaron pull an Aaron on y'all, what you gonna do? Are you gonna try to move up in the draft and get one of them quarterbacks? Or are you gonna try to trade to Atlanta and try to get that dude Kirk Cousins? I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely still out there, man.
I'm
trying to see what's going to happen. I believe some of the teams going to get desperate and they're going to start making moves by the draft day. You know how it is when they make those crazy trades and stuff during that time.
Right.
I don't really know what the hell Pittsburgh doing.
Bottom line, I don't think Aaron Rodgers press. He done made over $300 million in the year.
He don't have to really make no decision. Yeah.
Right.
They need him more than he needs them right now.
Absolutely.
Especially after letting them two quarterbacks go.
Right.
Because I still look at it like Justin Fields was young and they wanted to do more as far as his development, but then they was waiting too long with this whole Rodgers thing. And then now, hey, he played his cards right the way he was supposed to, though, because now he's stuck.
Okay, now speaking of free agent signings that kind of made you, we got to talk about what the Patriots did.
Yeah, man, they've been spending all that money, man. I think it's like $192 million in guaranteed, money. Yeah, man. Stephon Diggs, I don't even think they said he'll be ready by training camp, but he ain't gonna be the same Stephon Diggs.
Right, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but
like I said,
they put into them, man.
I'm wondering, did you sign him thinking he would make your team better? Or did you sign him putting booties in the seats because you think Cardi B might show up to come watch him play? I don't know what the thought process was. Bottom line, I wouldn't have paid that much for him, and I don't know if he's gonna be 100%. And yeah, Drake May, he all right, but it kind of don't make sense. It makes sense for Stephon, get that money, bruh. I see what he was thinking. I just don't know what the Patriots was thinking.
There's no disrespect. They still got to tighten up that O-line. They ain't do nothing to impress me with that O-line. And besides Stephon Diggs, who's banged up, and we don't even know if he'll be playing day one, which they said he should. But when you had those type of injuries, man, you're not going to come back looking like the, Minnesota Vikings, or even when you was first on the Bills, Stephon Diggs. And then, we ain't even going to get into their wide receiving core because it's like the worst in the league.
Yeah, so does this make the Patriots better? If he is better and may get a little better, a little bit, but again, I don't see them getting too far even with him. So
they probably still be third in that division.
Right. I mean, I'm just looking at, when you look at a lot of these free agent signings this particular round, this year, it seemed like more of that from the player side was, oh, y'all going to offer me this money? Deal. I'm with it. But in terms of, okay, we need to sign this dude so we can be in the Super Bowl conversation, I don't feel like a lot of teams really looked at it like that. No. Remember, NFL teams make money, period. They're going to put booties in the seats. They're going to get that TV money. They're going to get that apparel money. Pretty much anybody who done bought a team in the last 20 years, if they want to sell it now, it's worth like 5 times what it was when they bought it. It's crazy. I think teams, they trying to get their win on, and other teams, they just want to make sure you come and see the game.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was saying that too. He was pissed because he was like, man, we kind of figured the Bears didn't spend all their money because they've been bad for so long, so they had a pretty nice cap space. Where the hell Minnesota Vikings get all that money from, man? That's what I wanted to know, too. And they spent a nice little deal of money, too, man. I think they spent the second most outside of New England. Some of those guys, man, remember I said, man, a lot of people may not agree with me, but when I did the show, too, it was like the day of, like that day and a half when it first started. they signed some good players. Don't get me wrong, but them dudes in their 30s, man. So it's like I guess they looking at it like we either go if we go with JJ McCarthy, we just gonna try to have him, just don't lose a game and lean on that defense heavy. But yeah, they're like in a win now state. But yeah, a lot of those guys are like in their 30s, man. So it's like giving them those long 3-4 year contracts was a little bit pushing it, man.
Right, and then meanwhile, it's teams like San Francisco. What the hell y'all waiting on? Y'all better sign Brock Purdy and quit budging. You done let damn near everybody else leave.
Then they still talking about Brandon Ayuk is up for trades.
Yeah. So I have no idea. In the end, it looked like whoever was in the playoffs last year gonna be in the playoffs this year, and that's about it. Well, maybe the exception of Minnesota. I ain't too sure about them, but or Pittsburgh for that matter. But
You know what time of year it is. You see my background too, man, and I definitely was surprised too, man, because I wasn't paying as much attention. And you was like, "Well, yeah, Hugh, man, when we gonna do a show on baseball?" And I'm like, "Baseball," and that's when you hit me up, and you was like, "Well, yeah, man, it started Thursday." I said, "Man, yeah, right." And sure enough, when I looked up, I already looked the scene and I shook my head because it's like they always want the Detroit teams to get dragged in the mud. Like, damn, y'all gonna have us take the Dodgers the first game? Yeah, man. So yeah, it was actually pretty interesting to see too. And they already played some meaningful games. Because when I looked at some of the games and looked at the teams and what they did, man, they already 2-0. What's up
the
with that?
Dodgers, that's correct.
I forgot
So
they
remember,
played.
they played games earlier last
Mhm.
week, handled biz, and now they get to play at home against our Tigers. Well, that being said, what he was saying is it's time for our MLB preview. Now, understand, I know some of y'all like baseball. Oh, here they go. Now, look, this is our show, okay? We love baseball, all right? Baseball will always be my first love. Shout out to my main man, Rock Roo, still hanging in there. Love that dude. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk baseball because some of y'all do love baseball like we do, and we appreciate that. So we're gonna talk about it. Now. Granted, it's 32 teams? No, 30 teams. We're not about to sit here and break down all 30 teams. We ain't got time or the energy, and some of them teams they just ain't worth our breath. So if you expect us to break down your favorite team, the White Sox or the A's or the Rockies, yeah, y'all probably gonna have to catch the other show on whatever podcast y'all watch because we ain't got time for that. But some of them other teams, yeah, we about to get into them. So what we got, Hugh?
I want to get into first the American League, and we're going to talk about the East right now. You got Tampa Bay, Toronto, the New York Yankees, Boston, and Baltimore. Who are the two teams that you believe is coming out of that division?
Now, see, this was one of the hardest divisions to kind of pull out, okay?
Yeah, that's why
we got to break it down a little bit. Now, first of all, Toronto didn't really make enough good adjustments during the off season. So I actually gonna pick them last in the division. So we ain't talking them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not really too interesting because it looked like they possibly
Tampa Bay. I think this might finally be the year Tampa Bay start to go the other way. For whatever reason, these last several years, they done found ways to win, bullpen days and half hitting. And no, I think they finally going to start to take that downward trend. Keep in mind, I'm not even sure if they playing in Tampa Bay to start the year. Remember they had that issue with the Hurricane last year. I don't even know if they stadium up for play yet, but it's probably a good thing because I think they're not only playing there another year or two anyway, because that stadium is awful. They say that's one of the worst places in baseball to play. And I think they're going to be one of the worser teams. So not them either. So I'm picking between the Yankees, the Red Sox, and Baltimore. I got to go with Baltimore to actually win that division. Why? Because
last year too, we were surprised they didn't win last year. But that
young talent is really ready. I mean, look at my Tigers last year. Hell, remember when they was thinking about trading Scooby? That's because Baltimore was kind of offering a whole bunch of good stuff, and we probably should have took it. Everything considered, we'll get to them in a minute. But
you could have had your boy son, Matt Holiday son in there.
Yeah, Baltimore got some really good young talent over there. They got a good young pitching staff. Baltimore definitely a good hitters ballpark. Yeah, they're gonna have their share of games with the Yankees and the Red Sox and whatnot. That's gonna put them a little behind. But in terms of the rest of the American League, I think they can do a pretty good job against them. So I'm going with them first, reluctantly. Between Boston and New York, I kind of got to go with Boston right now because the Yankees is hurting in their pitching prospects at this point. Especially when we found out, unfortunately, that Garrett Cole is out for the year with the Tommy John. That hurt them big time. They don't even make it to the World Series last year without him. Without him, period. Yeah, I don't think they make it to the division round, let alone that. So I'm going with Baltimore and Boston, then New York, Tampa, Toronto.
We usually agree on a lot of things, man. And at this point, I'm gonna have to tell you, I agree. I'm not gonna disagree. When Garrett Cole got hurt, I said, man, I don't even know. They'll be a playoff team at best. But yeah, what Boston did, a lot of people slept on some of them good ass moves Boston did. Boston did some good moves. So I'm going with Baltimore like we thought last year, of course. Then I got Boston. And then the reason why we ain't dogging out the Yankees and saying that just them being third and just being forgot about, because don't forget, you guys, it's the wild card. That's the team that we feel like possibly might make the wild card round.
Exactly. Although, remember, part of my other problem with the Yankees right now, that dude Carlos Stanton hurt again.
Man, I was hoping they got rid of him, man. You know, I was wishing that so bad. Even when my man took shots at him, I said, yeah, man, he's going to want to leave. Nah, he's
right. And them not signing Soto definitely hurt as well.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad they didn't know, man, because
for that price, it wasn't worth it.
Dude, for sure.
I think the Mets fans, y'all will regret the day he signed for that money.
Because they're not going nowhere. The playoffs at best, man.
We'll get to them. But yeah, okay, so that's what I got. What was next?
Okay, we about to jump into the Central, man. You know, definitely want to do them first, but then I know it's going to be a little harder with the Yankees and all. You know. But we got Minnesota, Kansas City Royals, we got the Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers, that is, and the Cleveland Guardians. Is still funny saying that name, and Chicago White Sox. We already know.
Straight cheeks, baby. It's crazy, but they might actually be worse this year than they was last year. And last year they was awful. So, okay, moving on. I think it's going to be between our Tigers and the Royals. Again, that's another team people sleeping on, the Kansas City Royals, because they are up and coming team. That dude Bobby Witt Jr., he is him.
He is him. If my man's ain't had the season he had.
Exactly. And I do think he is my early pick for MVP in the American League this year. Because that dude pretty much do it all. He is a 5'2" player. Yeah, and they do got one of the better catchers in all of baseball over there in Kansas City. And, I like how they set up. Even they pitching look pretty good this year. So I'm thinking it's going to be between, if I had to twist my arm, I'm going to go with them over the Tigers because right now, too many injury concerns with the Tigers, particularly in the outfield.
I definitely didn't really think we did enough, man. I was glad that we kept Skubal.
No, we definitely did not.
We ended up getting Flaherty back, but I didn't think we still did as much. So, man, I definitely wouldn't be surprised too. But I got
the whole key this year for our Tigers is that pitching staff, the starting pitching staff, particularly. If we get the type of pitcher we think we should get from Flaherty and Skubal and Reese Olson, and of course that dude Jackson Joe, who seemed to be everybody's talking head choice for American League Rookie of the Year. If we get the pitching that we should from them guys, then we should be in the mix. But I don't think it's a guarantee we win the division because I'm concerned about our lineup.
And if we don't be careful, man, Cleveland can sneak up on us. So man,
absolutely
need to be careful.
They definitely put my choice for third, and second and third is a real thin line. And then, of course, Minnesota, I think they're going to take a couple steps back this year. Although I do like that dude Byron Buxton on that squad, I must admit.
All right, E, we about to go over to the West Coast now, man. We about to go to the West Division. Houston, it's funny, man, because I was about to say Houston, Texas, but no, Houston, then Texas. You got the Seattle A's and the Los Angeles Angels.
A's is fuck.
Oh yeah, we know they're
The
not
only
going.
reason why they don't suck worse than the White Sox because they just don't. But I think that's almost a plan. I think it's tank for whoever the number one pick is for the next couple of years for the A's because they getting set up for when they move to Vegas, flat out. I don't think they care how much they win or lose this year. I think you're gonna see a steady stream of their minor league kids coming back and forth, and anybody that end up being halfway decent on the squad gonna get traded at the trading deadline. I don't see them trying to do nothing. Meanwhile, Seattle, remember last year when we talked about the football and it was certain squads, you just don't quite know what you're going to get one way or the other? That's where I'm at with Seattle. They got some good hitters. They got some good pitching. I just don't know with Seattle. Would it surprise me if they won the West? Not really. Would it surprise me if they was better or worse than the A's? That would surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see them finishing second. I can see them finishing fourth. But I think when all is said and done, we talking Texas versus Houston. Because again, the Angels, the only thing I want to see the Angels do is find some way to trade Mike Trout. Put that brother out his misery, okay? Outside of that, they ain't doing nothing.
No.
The only reason why they gonna be decent because they get to play the A's and in Seattle and Chicago a lot. But anyway, I think this year Texas find their way back. I think not only do they find their way back to first place, I think they may actually mess around and find their way back to the American League Championship Series. Key to that, one dude, Jacob deGrom. If that dude pitched like he did in the preseason and stay healthy for a change for once in his life after multiple Tommy John surgeries, if we get that deGrom, he winning 20. Flat out. If we don't get that deGrom and we just get Evaldi and the rest, and it's kind of, I still can see them being slightly better than Houston because Houston slowly but surely starting to find their way back down to the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I have it where I believe Texas is going to be number one and they're going to win that division. And then Houston, because of the veteran play that they have. The crazy part is the sleeper team would be possibly the Seattle, because the fact is, like you said, they got a good team, but we never know which year or the year of what they're going to be and how they're going to play. So that was one of the ones that was like a toss up to me as far as the wild card teams.
And here's my thing about the Houston thing. Putting Altuve in the outfield, I'm not understanding what the thought process was behind that.
Yeah, he was better in the infield to me.
I mean, he's getting the Gold Glove at second. I don't get what that is. Hell, I didn't understand how the Tigers was trying to have Torkelson play in the outfield. So, I don't know.
I'm going to move on and I'm going to get to the National League now. And I'm going to start off with National League East. Of course, you got Miami. You have Philly, the New York Mets, the Washington Nationals, and the Atlanta Braves.
The good news for y'all Miami fans, Miami going to be better this year. Alcantara back from his Tommy John surgery. That dude one of the best 10 pitchers in baseball when healthy. It's unfortunate that a lot of people don't get to see that because Miami don't get a lot of TV time.
At all.
But yeah, trust me. I think they will get their time tomorrow. That dude, watch him pitch. He is definitely that deal. Here's the thing, y'all. I don't know about that other squad. I'm gonna kind of hold off on that, but Braves, Phillies. Bottom line, that's the cream of the crop in that division. If you twisted my arm, I kind of gonna go with the Braves. I hate that they let Fried go. That probably wasn't their best move. And Strider, he coming back from Tommy John himself. But again, when healthy, he is one of the top 10 baseball pitchers as well. And I think their bullpen will be better because they had a lot of injury problems. But bottom line, Acuna Jr., that dude healthy, that dude one of the best 3 players in baseball.
Period.
Flat out. Remember, last healthy season he had, he was a 40-40 dude. Okay? So yeah, we get that Acuna and what else they got in the lineup and some decent pitching, I think they'll be a little bit better than the Phillies. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, Phillies, they still got that good lineup. They got decent pitching as well, but I'm going to go with them in a slight over. I see both of them teams making the playoffs. Let's put it that way.
The only reason I felt like Philly crept up and then ended up winning that division, because like you said, it was all those injuries with Atlanta, but getting Ronald Acuna back, man, and then just this resurgence of Ozzy Albies too, man. He played pretty well last year, but if you could
True.
get anything from him and just the regular hitters and stuff they have and Matt Olson, yeah, I definitely feel
Right.
like this would be their year, and you won't be able to sneak them like you did last year as far as Philly. But Philly will still be one of the teams that's mentioned as far as to be going to the playoffs. And you can even, if you want to, toss the Mets in as a wild card team.
I just think the Mets not going to pull it off this year.
I wouldn't be surprised neither, man.
They took that big old swim in the ocean and get Soto, and they got a couple good people on that squad. I hate it took so long for them to re-sign the first baseman as well, but yeah, I just don't think they're gonna get it done.
I wouldn't be surprised neither, man. I thought today was okay, but then Lindor and all those guys are starting to get up there in age too.
Yeah,
So
also true. And Shea Stadium ain't quite the hitter's park that it once was for whatever reason.
all right, yeah, I'm about to move on to the Central, man. This was the hardest one to really choose from, man.
No.
They took a step down, man. Last year, man, I didn't know they was going to be this bad. You had the St. Louis Cardinals, you got the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cincinnati Reds, you have the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Chicago Cubs.
Now, here's the thing. I think I'm having a harder time figuring out who's going to finish last than I am who's going to finish first. Because in the ideal world, you want to say it's the Cardinals, but the Cardinals just always seem to find a way to win games, particularly in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
So I just don't see them being last. I think this is the year that Milwaukee ends up falling off too. Granted, they got some decent pitching, but I think they hitting is starting to deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? That dude, Yelich. Yeah, I think now it's the years where the money he made is not gonna make as much sense because he's not gonna play nearly as good. And no, this ain't your Prince Fielder type Milwaukee Brewers anymore.
No,
So
not at all.
I think they finished somewhere in the middle. The Reds got some good players on that squad. I can't necessarily say they're a good team. It's like Seattle, but reverse. Because would it surprise me they won the division? Hell yeah. Would it surprise me they finished last? Not really. Especially if it's one of them situations where we get to the trading deadline, they decide, yeah, we're going to have to give up Hunter Green or the most exciting person in baseball, not named Shohei Ohtani. That dude, man, if you have not seen Cincinnati play, and again, they get less TV time than Miami do. The shortstop for Cincinnati, that dude, the truth, okay? 6'4", run like a gazelle, got a gun for an arm, and can hit and steal bases like nobody's business, okay? He reminds you of a kind of a better version of Cameron back in the day, back when he was the number one prospect in baseball. Former Tigers,
Yankees, he's a
Padres. But yeah, in an ideal world, you probably could get a nice little haul if you trade for him. But you'd be stupid if you was Cincinnati and traded that dude. But I would understand it at the same time. But yeah, that's them. Anyway, the Cubs. I'm thinking if the Cubs is somewhere close around the trade deadline, they will be buyers and try to buy their way into winning that division. So I gotta go with them second, but I'm actually gonna go with the Pirates because they got the best young pitcher in baseball, not named Tarek Scuba, and that dude Skeens. Okay, if y'all think Skeens was good last year, I think he definitely wins the Cy Young this year because he'd added a couple more pitches. He'd added some more MPHs. He already was throwing 100, 101. So now they got him throwing 100, 203. Then he got a devastating curve on it. If he pitched like that, he might fuck around with 22, 23. So based on that and some good hitting that they got in Pittsburgh, I'm going with them.
The shocker is I actually had Milwaukee still coming out of that division, and then Pittsburgh. And
Okay.
I don't even have a wild card in that one, man, because they're so iffy in that division,
Yeah.
man. It was
I
hard for
can't
me to
see it.
choose that one. That was possibly the hardest division to choose.
Yeah, I would agree.
And here we got the last division over on in there. And we got the West. You know, we got the Los Angeles Dodgers, Arizona Diamondbacks, Colorado Rockies, San Francisco Giants, and the San Diego Padres. This one's gonna be an interesting one.
Now understand, no, it ain't. Let's be real. We know what it is, okay? We're gonna play around for commercial sake. Okay. First of all, Rockies fans, y'all go sit down. We ain't talking to y'all. Okay. So Arizona Diamondbacks, remember this team a couple years ago was in the World Series. They kind of fell off a little bit last year. I think they kind of find their way back up a little bit. I think the key for them is what the weather is like when they go to other cities. I think they will play very well in Arizona. When they go to other places, because if I remember right, that was the team that ended up running to the most rain days of any team in baseball last year. If they run into good weather, it could be interesting. Okay. Are they winning the division? Hell no. All right. Next, gotta see about them doggone Giants. They just kind of there. It's because of so many bad teams in the National League as opposed to the American League. They should do decent, but because they in that division, I only see them getting so far. Not enough pitching, not enough hitting. It ain't happening. Okay, Padres. You know Padres got a good starting lineup. You know they got good 2 or 3 starting pitchers. That ain't gonna be enough. The best team in baseball, ain't no sense in even lying about it. It ain't even close. It ain't even an argument, people. Los Angeles Dodgers, okay? World Series champs had the nerve to get mad and mess around and say we wasn't good enough. Went in free agency and got even better. Crazy.
Just Blake Snell
All around the world to get talent. And paid them whatever they had to pay them to put them in the building. They may have one of the best starting rotations we've ever seen.
Like just as good as that Phillies and the Braves lineups that they had
Back in the day, exactly. The Baltimore lineup back in the 80s when you had Jim Palmer and people like that on the squad. Hell, we can go back to the 60s when the Tigers had Lolich and that dude, McClain. We talking about that type of starting pitching staff. And understand, Shohei ain't even pitching yet, okay? Now understand he ain't supposed to start pitching till May. But by that time, they might already be 15 games ahead.
Yep.
And they actually gonna start him in the bullpen, which is interesting, because I say if he dominated in the bullpen, you already know what my thought been. All this, I've said it several times on the show.
One
If
of the
you
five.
make that dude the closer, I think you get the most bang for your buck. Let him be the closer.
That would
You
definitely.
got enough starting pitching where you don't need him to be a starter. Okay?
Absolutely.
You want to pitch, let him pitch 60, 70 times a year out the bullpen. That way you can still have him batting all of that. It would be great.
Yep.
But the Dodgers winning that division, ain't no doubt.
Sure.
Spoiler alert, people. Who we got winning it all? I don't know about you, but me, Dodgers, no doubt.
I definitely don't have nobody being better than the Dodgers, man. And definitely after getting Blake Snell, I said, damn, man, you already had a great team. And to get a guy, because you ain't need to get to him to win still next season. But then
he actually, even though he's starting tomorrow, he actually the number 4 starter on that squad. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. And then crazy. At it, man. I have the Dodgers winning, of course, and that winning that division too. Then you got the San Diego Padres, and then I even had the Arizona Diamondbacks making their comeback as the wild card team.
Yeah, I can see them making a wild card. I think that's like I said, particularly if they get the good weather when they go other places. Yeah, but okay. So we're gonna play a little game with y'all this year. Just to kind of get y'all a little bit more interested in baseball. I'm gonna write them down and put them in our little hookup later on. But basically, you know how they do the bingo cards with certain events and be like, okay, let's see if they say this or do this during the event. We're going to kind of do that with the 2025 baseball season. So as I give you these things, you're going to play along. We're going to record our answers. So then at the end of the year, we'll see how close we was to being right.
Okay.
All right, ready? First of all, what team is going to have the best record this year?
I definitely believe the Dodgers will have that best record, of course. That
Agreed. Okay, so seeing they're gonna have the best record, that means we thinking they're gonna have the most wins. How many wins you think they're gonna finish with?
nothing less than 100.
I'm gonna give them 110. I know that sounds crazy, but you see what type of squad they got.
Mhm.
Okay, how many teams are gonna win more than 100 games this year?
I'm gonna go with maybe 2.
I will also go with 2. I'm thinking Dodgers and maybe Baltimore, Texas, one of them
Mhm.
two. All right. How many teams you think are going to lose more than 100 games this year?
I definitely have the White Sox, the A's, and the Rockies in that category.
I think the Rockies going to find a way to kind of miss that by a few. But yeah, the A's and the White Sox, no doubts. None. Okay. Who is, of course, going to be our batting champions in the American League and National League?
I'm gonna actually go with Vladdy this year as the batting champion, and then in the NL, I'm gonna go with not this year. I'm not gonna go with Shohei. I'm gonna actually go with somebody like just like a dark horse, and I'm gonna go with Matt Olson.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go a little crazier, and I'm going to go Freddie Freeman, seeing that he's going to be hitting right behind Shohei. And
Yeah,
that means you can't pitch around Freddie. You can't pitch around Shohei to get to Freddie. So
I
I
play
think
with Freddie.
and Mookie will probably hit behind him. So yeah, I'm going to go Freddie Freeman, National League. American League. I think I'm going to go with that dude out of Texas. I can't think. Alvarez, yeah.
Okay.
Alvarez.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with him as the batting champion.
nice.
All right. Who you got leading the league in home runs, American League, National League?
American League, National League. You know what? That's a hard one, man. I'm gonna go with Judge again this year, though.
It's hard not to go with Judge with him playing in Yankee
In
Stadium.
that stadium. I mean, come on now.
Right.
It's
like
stadium is easy.
somebody that I see him hitting another 50. So yeah, I'm definitely going with him, American League. National League, I gotta go with my man Shohei again.
Be surprised if he
I
did.
think he left some meat on that ball. I think he can hit 55 this year myself.
If not, because I like Ronald Acuna, but I don't think he got that type of power though, man. So I'm going ahead and I'm gonna go with, if not Shohei, then I will go with somebody else like let me throw somebody out there. It's not really too many other people I can really think of that really had that type of power. So yeah, man.
Right. If not Shohei, okay, here's my dark horse choice. I'm gonna go Manny Machado.
Manny, that's interesting because if I had to go dark horse, I would go with that same team, but I would go Tatis.
I ain't mad at that either. Okay, so that's that. All right. Who's our choices for MVP?
Okay. MVP. I can't go with Shohei this year, man. I'm gonna go with Freddie, man, because I feel like Freddie, what he did in the playoffs, man. You gonna have to pitch to him, man, and that's gonna be a bad dude.
I kind of got to go with Shohei again because if he back healthy pitching on top of hitting, it's kind of hard not to go with him for MVP if he do good at both.
Oh.
As far as the American League goes, I'm not gonna go with Judge. That's just too obvious.
I'm gonna go with Vladdy on that one again.
Oh, you know what? I already said Bobby Witt Jr. That's who I'm going with.
Okay, yeah, that's a good choice. He could have been last year if Judge didn't play the way he did. So yeah, that's a good choice.
Okay, so then a few more, and then we'll call it a day with the baseball. One, how many people you think will hit for the cycle this year?
I'm gonna go on with 6.
Oh wow, that's a lot. I'm gonna just go with 2. All right, how many no hitters you think we're gonna see this year?
I think that's gonna go up. Yeah, I'm gonna have 6 on those.
I'm gonna go with 5. I think we're gonna get, and like I said, I think next month we will see one. right off the rip in these first couple weeks. Okay. How many people? Yeah, I did have that on the list. How many people do you think will get hit up with the good old substance abuse policy ban?
I'm gonna go with 2.
I'm going with 4. Even as stupid as that's after everything we know to happen, yeah. Mm-hmm. And okay, here's another crazy one that's thrown in the mix. Who you think will lead the league in getting thrown out of the game?
Thrown out, I gotta think about it, man. I'm gonna go with not even a player. I'm gonna go with a coach. And I'm gonna go with Man Boone, crazy ass.
Yep. If I was to pick somebody, I think that's who I would go with too. I see him get thrown out at least 4-5 times. All right, so that's it. So, like I said, record your responses as well, and you can send them to the emails. You know, you got ebucks, Eric Hawk 41 at gmail.com. You can send it there. You can send it to Hugh's email, which is what, Hugh?
Sportsguru to you at gmail.com.
Exactly. Of course, you can send it to our messengers on our Facebook, and you, of course, can send it to our messengers on the Instagram. I'm Eric Hawk 45, and Hugh is
Hoovy
at Instagram. So either any of them work, and at the end of the year, we'll sit down and figure out who was right. If we get enough people to respond on it, we will actually have some type of prize for you. What prize is it? Well, it depends on how many people go in and what our funds looking like.
Find out.
You know, but we'll come up with something nice for you. But anyway, that is it on our baseball discussion, Hugh. What else we got going?
Man, a lot of things gonna be happening, man. I want your predictions, man, since I kind of already went through as far as with the games in the college. We're down to the Sweet 16, but I want to get your predictions on who you think gonna be the Final Four teams and who you think gonna be the 2 championship teams on both brackets who playing each other.
Well, I do have that. I just gotta look it up right quick. In the meanwhile, Hugh, let them know where they can find you.
Man, you guys can check me out at Hugh.Lee6 on TikTok, of course. And you can catch me on Hoovy on Instagram, Sports Guru to you on Facebook. You can also catch me every Tuesday, too, on the Guru Perspective at 1 p.m. And, of course, you can catch us every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on the Guru Sports section.
All right. Now, keep in mind, I'm doing pretty good in my brackets this year, surprisingly. I have 13 of the 16 in the men's side right now, which I was stunned by. At any rate, when I get down to my Final Four, because I do have Auburn losing to Michigan, actually, and I got Michigan State beating Ole Miss. Kind of shockers on both those. I got Florida making it to the 8, and I'm going with Arkansas and yet another upset. So in the 8, I got Florida, Arkansas, Michigan, Michigan State. So for the Final Four on that side of the bracket, I got Michigan State beating Michigan. On this side of the bracket, I got Florida beating Arkansas. Okay, on the other side here, I got Duke and Arizona. Of course, I got Duke beating Arizona, though I think that's going to be a lot better game than people may know.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb might go crazy in that game. Remember, before he was at Arizona, he was at North Carolina, so he's very familiar with Duke. But yeah, I think Duke going to pull that one out. We got Alabama, BYU. Y'all sleeping on BYU. And as crazy as it is, they only going to get better next year because remember, they got the number 1 male prospect in the nation coming there after pulling off some big time NIL money to break him off. So I'm going with BYU and Duke on that side. And on this side here, we got Houston and Kentucky. I'm going to go with Kentucky to upset young Houston. So in the end, we got Houston. No, I got Kentucky making the Final Four on that side and Duke on the other side. So my Final Four for the men is Duke, Kentucky, Michigan State, and Florida. And of course, we'll predict the Final Four next week. Okay, on the women's side, which is always more interesting in my world because I'm usually pretty good at predicting that one. Though that was before we found out what happened to Juju, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of,
I put a monkey wrench in a lot.
I really hate that. All right, hold on. That's on a whole nother side. But yeah, okay. So I think I'll just give you guys my final four for the ladies. Basically, I got UConn now beating USC in the Elite Eight since they don't have Juju. I got South Carolina coming out of their bracket. I got Texas coming out of their bracket. And let's see, on the other side, I think I went with Notre Dame. So we got in my final four Notre Dame, South Carolina, Texas, and UConn.
Okay. And then we'll make the final four predictions for the championship. We'll do that next week.
Absolutely.
Well, anything you got to add to that, E?
Well, no, we just thank y'all for checking in with us. We appreciate you. We, as you see, we working on our production skills and whatnot. We coming up with some crazy stuff that we doing for promos and commercials and whatnot. You will tell you some of the stuff I came up with last night was just like, whoa.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, man.
Right. I'm back in my Adobe bag. So once I hit the Firefly and all that, for those of y'all familiar with Adobe and all that, and I'm taking the class next month, yeah, we're gonna really have some stuff I have some show enough type stuff in these hands for y'all. But anyway, we have been doing more on TikTok and all that. We will continue to expand to that as well. So just follow us on all the various platforms. We're gonna post some of that here at the end here. We're doing this live, but in post-production, we'll throw all that on there for you. That's pretty much it. That's what I got.
And for the people who ain't up on politics, man, it was certain things I wasn't up on. And rather than asking, it was pretty good that he had one of the shows that I Am Nighthawk kind of put me on game of what I needed to know, man. That was a pretty good show because, like I said, I wasn't aware of it until we had that conversation, until you broke it down, because I'm not really too huge on politics like that. Most times I'm sports. But yeah, that was a really good show, man. And I appreciate you filling in for me too, for the Guru perspective too as well, man. That was actually a really good show too, and I'd like to thank you for that, brother.
Well, hey, you would do it for me, and hell, at times you have done it for me, so it's not an issue at all, and I appreciate that you liked it. Again, you can find all of our shows on the Eric Butler Nighthawk Network Detroit page, and as well on the Facebook page known as the Nighthawk Network info page. We will again post all that for you as well to follow, like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate it. Want to shout out our people in the network also. Shout out to Big Meech and Big Red. What's going on, fellas? Of course, we got to shout out our girl Road to Stardom. Please check out Road to Stardom. We will insert her commercial here. And when we come back, as we are, let you know we love Road. Bro, we love you. Thank you for following us. Appreciate it. Also, shout out to Big Joe, who always usually checks in with us. What up, Big Joe?
Appreciate everybody who chime in, man.
Oh, yeah, and definitely, y'all, do us a favor. Follow Coach Vincent on Facebook. We're going to put the link in there for you. Follow Coach V. He is starting in an indoor football league. He would like for you to support his squad. They're the Young Detroit squad. We will probably have him on the show the next few weeks to kick it for a few minutes about what he got going on, so y'all can have a better understanding and be a fan of what he got going, because we appreciate you, Coach V.
Got some good stuff going on, man, and I'm pretty excited. And God's will, man, I'm looking forward to going to one of the games, go up to a game or two.
Absolutely. All right, that's it, man. We're going to call it a show. We'll catch up with you next time. You know what to do, Hugh. Throw up the fingers, baby. And deuces.